This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth with breaking news. Dubai has just seen its worst flooding in 75 years. We're talking about the Dubai holiday from hell. The footage is now starting to come in showing the torrential downpours. We're talking about 1.5 years worth of rain coming down on Dubai in simply just a matter of hours. It's absolutely unprecedented and mind-boggling, the amount of water that was just dumped onto Dubai. Now, you'll look at the account that tweeted out this video says, "What's happening today in Dubai is exactly how climate crisis looks like. Even the luxurious city can't stand for long in climate catastrophe. Act now before it's too late." This is coming from a 12-year-old climate change activist who is claiming that what we are seeing today is a result of man-made climate change. This is absolutely ludicrous and absurd, not only because the idea of man-made climate change is absolutely bunk nonsense, but because of the fact that this is actually being attributed to cloud seeding. Guys, if you don't know what that is, cloud seeding is essentially when they engage in weather modification. They look for atmospheric, in the atmosphere for clouds that are suitable to do this. They take planes equipped with specialized flares. They launch them up into the clouds. They release then salt into the clouds, tiny aerosol particles. The supercooled water condenses around the salt. This forms large droplets. They become water droplets heavy enough to fall. And therefore, this produces, they say, 15 to 25% extra rainfall each year. Well, guess what, guys? This is exactly what Dubai engaged in and precisely what caused the flooding. This is from Bloomberg. Dubai grinds to standstill as cloud seeding worsens the flooding. As we're getting these photos coming in of these torrential Dubai flash floods that are showing the downsides of trying to control the weather. Yeah, you think? The United Arab Emirates government is actually denying that any of this cloud seeding took place before these Dubai floods. But interesting enough, this denial follows this earlier Bloomberg report, which Ahmed Habib, a specialist meteorologist, had said that the Tuesday rains had stemmed partially from cloud seeding. But then Habib later told CNBC that 6 pilots had flown missions as part of the regular protocol, but had not seeded any clouds. CNBC was not able to independently verify these reports. So this now has everybody asking the question, was Dubai's apocalyptic storm self-inflicted? So we're going to look at all of this, guys, and much, much more in this video. But really quickly, guys, before we do, I'd ask that you check me out here at pressfortruth.ca/donate. If you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, guys, here you can do a one-time donation with PayPal. You can do Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. You can join me here for a monthly reoccurring contribution. You can also do so here at Subscribestar. You can send an e-transfer to dan@pressfortruth.ca, or if you like to keep things old school, guys, you can send stuff to my P.O. box. Links for all of this are located in the description below. Thank you so much to everybody who takes a moment today to contribute to my efforts here at Press for Truth. Now, you'll notice over on the side here, a recent video that I put out on April 11th is titled, "Heads Up, New Operation Sea Spray, Secret Experiment Over San Francisco Exposed." And in this video, I show you how a group of scientists from the University of Washington gathered on deck of an aircraft carrier in San Francisco to conduct this secretive experiment that they kept secret because they didn't want any backlash. And they were experimenting on how to use particles to artificially brighten clouds. This is exactly what we're talking about today and what we're dealing with. And in case you haven't seen it, guys, I'll put a link to this in the description below. But at the end of this video, I included an interview that I did with the former Premier of British Columbia, talking all about geoengineering, chemtrails, cloud seeding, and his, initiative to have these things blocked in Canada from governments being able to engage in these weather modification experiments. If you haven't seen that, guys, I strongly recommend that you check it out. I'll put a link for that in the description below. But let's get into today's news. The United Arab Emirates is today attempting to dry out after the heaviest rain ever recorded in the desert nation caused utter chaos. But there are suspicions that the horrific flooding in Dubai and elsewhere may have been self-inflicted. The typically scorched UAE heavily relies on cloud seeding, a technique which sees aircraft fire salt flares into clouds to speed up condensation and induce rainfall to provide its groundwater. Flight tracking data analyzed by the Associated Press showed one aircraft affiliated with the UAE's cloud seeding efforts did fly around the country on Sunday. Meanwhile, Ahmed Habib, a meteorologist at the UAE's National Center for Meteorology, told Bloomberg that several cloud seeding sorties were flown in the days before this unprecedented rainfall hit. As speculation over the cloud seeding grew, the NCM later denied in comments to CNBC that the operation had taken place on Tuesday in the hours before the storm. But they did confirm that the operation was performed on Sunday and Monday. So here you have them openly admitting that, no, we didn't engage in the act in the hours before, but they actually did when they admit that it was done on the Sunday and the Monday, because less than 12 hours approximately later, this torrential downpour happened. It's absolutely blatantly obvious what happened here, and they are very actively trying to deny this, even though they were playing Rainmaker by using this cloud seeding technique. While images of extreme flooding can show the consequences of climate crisis, this particular event was stressed by a direct attempt to play Rainmaker, literally. To address water scarcity in the typically dry country, the UAE started using this practice referred to as cloud seeding back in the 90s and early 2000s. The practice has long been controversial, with critics missing it as an attempt to play God, or being potentially harmful to the environment or public health. Scientists have not documented any harmful impacts of cloud seeding, and recent studies have suggested that the practice works. But according to Bloomberg, the UAE's cloud seeding operations contributed directly to the heavy rainfall that fell this week, guys. And things could have been worse than they are. Thank God, large amounts of people didn't die. But what we're seeing here as a result of this is these climate alarmists using this as an excuse to, continue to generate that fear that you are the one who is responsible and the one who, is the one who did all this. And it's almost ironic, because the actual truth is, man-made climate change is a hoax, in the sense that, our CO2 is causing levels to rise, causing, the earth to continually heat up, and therefore is why the climate is changing. That's nonsense. But this is what real man-made climate change actually looks like, guys. So when you see literally 12-year-old kids screaming that this is climate change, with their 200,000, Twitter followers, they don't know what the heck they're talking about. This is not what man-made climate change looks like at all. Actually, it is, when you consider that it's being done in this very, 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 bad way. It's being covert. Just like we pointed out in this video, it was all being done and intentionally kept under the radar to minimize public backlash. By the way, guys, in this video, I pointed out that in the 1950s, the U.S. Navy conducted a secret biological warfare experiment on the people of San Francisco, where they sprayed harmful bacteria in the air to determine how vulnerable they would be to a bioweapons attack, and someone actually died from that particular experiment. So, fast forward to 2024, And we're still seeing these types of things go on with this cloud seeding project that they've been running for decades now. So don't listen to the climate alarmists who are going to scream about this as saying you are the reason, because of your SUV and your, capitalism and your factories, nonsense, absolute nonsense. The real reason is because they quite literally flew planes up into the clouds and injected particles to induce flooding. And then, boom, hours later, you got this catastrophic, insane flooding. Once again, showing exactly why trying to control the weather might not be such a good idea. So, just wanted to bring this to your attention, guys. Be careful of all the propaganda you're going to be seeing in the news following this. Of course, Bloomberg, came out and called it for what it is, and then, CNBC put out this piece saying that the UAE is denying all of this. But we know exactly what's going on, guys. Once again, if you want to catch up on all of this stuff, the background into it, and my interview with the former Premier of British Columbia about cloud seeding, geoengineering, the use of chemtrails, make sure you check this video out. It's interesting that I did it just less than a week ago, and then boom, all this stuff is happening today in the news. Crazy stuff, guys. Just wanted to bring all of that to your attention. Once again, if you do appreciate my efforts to do so, don't forget to check me out right here at pressfortruth.ca/donate. I cannot do this work without your continued financial support. So thank you so much to everybody who does take 2 minutes today to contribute to my efforts here at Press for Truth financially to continue to do this work. And that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Just wanted to bring all of that to your attention. Please click that thumbs up button. Share this video with your friends and family who might be, skeptics about all of this and who really need to see what's truly happening with so-called man-made climate change. And stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. Thanks again for watching. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.